old American cars are weird. Bear with me. If you're anything like me and grew up in the 80s watching American movies, you must be familiar with the following scene. A couple of teenagers drive out of town to a quiet spot, park the car somewhere remote, preferably with a nice view of the town below, and start engaging in shenanigans on the front seat of the car until the guy says something stupid, or a serial killer shows up. And that used to bring a lot of questions to my mind, like, why are there so many serial killers in America? And how the hell do you have sex on the front seat of the car? I mean, those things are tiny and cramped, and there's a gear lever and a handbrake in the middle. This used to make no sense to me. Many years later, I'm happy to report that things are starting to make a whole lot more sense. I mean, look at the size of this thing. This is a 1969 Buick LeSabre, which is French for the Sabre, and in many ways it is more a ship than it is a car. Look at me, I'm the captain now. This is absolutely insane. I do hang around a lot of classic American cars, but I still can't wrap my head around how gigantic they are. It feels like the passengers in the backseat are in a different time zone altogether. And the design philosophy makes absolutely no sense to me. I cannot see any circumstances except for the aforementioned teenage shenanigans in which having a bench in the front makes any sense at all. You don't even have any seat belts to hold you in place, so every time you take a turn, like this, you have to hold onto the steering wheel and hope it doesn't come off. People in the 60s must have had very good core strength and huge driveways. And it's not just the cabin that is of gargantuan proportions. Under the bonnet, or the hood as the Americans call it, which itself is about the size of a king-size bed, there is a 5.7-liter V8 engine coupled to a TH400 automatic transmission that sends all 280 horsepower straight to the back wheels and producing a lot of noise in the process. This one might run on LPG, but there's really nothing like the purr of an old American V8. And from 1959 to 2005, this was Buick's entry-level vehicle. America is really on a different scale than the old continent. This particular car, however, is one of a kind. It is the only unofficial Redneck edition, which means that before being allowed to drive it, I had to start doing crystal meth, learn how to play the banjo, and have sex with no less than 3 of my female relatives. It was worth it though. But Anthony, I hear you ask, what is included in this Redneck limited edition? Let's have a look. Well, first of all, you get this custom orange Raptor liner paint job. For those who are not familiar with Raptor liner, it is the kind of coating that you put on the bed of your pickup truck so it doesn't get damaged when you throw stuff on it, like cattle feed or farming equipment, or the mangled body of a Daisy Duke wearing hitchhiker named Bambi. But then again, what's the point of using anything for the purpose it was designed? And if you drive this car, one thing is for sure, you won't have to make an insurance claim even if hellfire and brimstone start falling from the sky. This is heavy duty stuff. But this is not all. The patterns on the body are genuine grandma crocheted curtains sprayed over with black paint, and the designs on the back are from the same grandma's coasters that she used to stop rings from staining the hardwood table in the kitchen. You have to use coasters, people. Those rings don't buff out. The car also comes with extra noise courtesy of an aftermarket RVS exhaust with Flowmaster Super 10 mufflers, whatever that means, and of course a nice little Redneck edition sticker in the back, you know, just in case the rest of the car was a little too subtle. So, what else is there to say about the Buick? Well, not that much if I'm being completely honest with you. This car never really captured the imagination of the audience the way some other cars of its era did. And I think that's because it was never driven on screen by a duo of badass cops chasing bad guys in the streets of a city, or by two good-looking cousins doing mischief in rural Georgia. For all intensive purposes, the Buick was, over its 45 years lifetime, quite a boring, run-of-the-mill, middle-class family car. A 280 horsepower rear-wheel drive family car, but a family car nonetheless. In many respects, then, this Redneck edition is not too dissimilar to a rebellious teenage girl. It shows that no matter how humble or mundane your origins are, you can always dye your hair bright orange, cover your body in tattoos, and roar like you've been smoking 10 packs of cigarettes a day for the past 10 years, and you too can become as badass can be.